It's June 30th, 2018. I'm fishing the west shore structures of Lake Winnebago. This is the first time here. I'm an avid fisherman. I live in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. I fish the Winnebago chain as much as I can. To become a better fisherman, I'm recording 100 fishing trips in 2018 and posting the results to YouTube. Hit the subscribe button if you want to follow along. Hit the bell icon if you want to make sure you get all the updates. I was talking to a friend last night and I told him I wasn't planning on fishing today because it was going to be so hot. And he said his strategy was to go out early in the morning and just fish until he didn't enjoy it anymore, and I just thought about it and it sounded like a really good idea. His early was probably a lot earlier than my early. I got out about 8 o'clock and I fished until about 10:30. I was fishing the west shore of Lake Winnebago, the structures along the west shore. It was all wind-blown structures. We had a south wind or southwest wind, and it was getting to be a pretty good it was a pretty good blow. But when you're on the west shore like that, it tempers the waves a little bit, so you don't get the huge waves, yet you get the benefit of the wind-blown shore, the wind-blown reef. So I started out trolling. My strategy was to troll with the wind when the wind is that windy, and it can be hard to control the boat. But if you troll in a straight line with the wind, you don't get the problems of the tangled lines and everything. And that worked for a while. But then I caught my first fish on wind-blown shore, and then I had to take a right if I wanted to keep trolling the edge of the reef. And that's where I kind of got myself in trouble. I was trolling 3 lines and I had them a little close together, not really anticipating a turn. And then I got 2 of them tangled up, and then it was kind of a cluster and I had to get them untangled. So I trolled past Horseshoe Reef and I got to the shoreline right to the northwest of Horseshoe. And so then once I got to the end of the reef, I decided, well, let's give the next reef a try. And and then I went over to the next reef to the north and did the same pattern. It wasn't really with the wind anymore. I was cross-cutting the wind, and I was trolling in about 12 to 14 feet of water. There were good amount of rocks there, so it wasn't really consistent depth. And then I did pick up 2 more fish. One was about 12 inches, and then the other was another 16-inch fish. And all in all, it was a really good day. It was just a relaxing Saturday morning. I'm glad I did it. But then, 10:30 and the sun really started beating down, and then the wind really felt warm. I mean, it was just like being in a clothes dryer. So I decided it's a good time to run in. One thing I should note is on this day I launched in the river, just anticipating the algae bloom. Launching out of Steiger, first launch on the south side of the river from the mouth. It's right by the senior center in Oshkosh. It's off of Campbell Street. It's a pretty good launch in the river. The only thing, it's unprotected, so you get the big pleasure boats that go through there, and they're rocking your boat up and down. So you just have to time when you're taking the boat on and off the trailer. You don't have the problem with the big wakes. But all in all, it was a good day. I enjoyed the time out, enjoyed the time alone, and 100 trips a year is a lot, so I have to take every opportunity to get out and do one, and catching fish. I'm confident that if I would have really tried, I had the pattern down, I could have limited out on these small eaters. So that's the report for today. This was trip 51 of 100 of my effort to be a better fisherman. Hit the subscribe button to follow along. I got 2 countable walleyes today for a total of 93 for the year. With this information, let's get out and fish.